Do you get starstruck? Or by whom?
I remember meeting Zinedine Zidane at Real Madrid.
Who would you rather be stuck on a desert island with, Ruby Walsh or Barry Geraghty?
Oh, can I have another choice? Is there?
Will Mikel Arteta win with Arsenal, win the Premier League with Arsenal?
He probably could do with winning.
The 20-time champion jockey, will that record ever be beaten?
Oh yeah, records always get beaten, Nick. Always get beaten.
20 jockeys championships.
They always get beaten. Hello, Nick.
God, I thought I was seeing double.
You all right?
I thought 1 AP McCoy was bad enough, let alone 2.
Could have photoshopped it a bit better, couldn't they?
I think that one looks very handsome.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm happy with that then.
You know what we're up to today?
Having a little tour around Cheltenham?
No. I've got a lot of questions to ask you.
Oh, really?
A lot of questions.
All right.
You ready for it? It's going to get personal.
Okay.
Okay. All right, this is the entrance to Cheltenham Racecourse. What do you feel when you walk into this place now?
I suppose when you're a kid, Nick, all you ever want to do is come to Cheltenham, and not that it's ever likely to happen to you or I to walk into the gates of heaven, but this is as close as it's going to get, I think.
Speak for yourself, Sir Anthony. How do you occupy yourself these days? Have you picked up a hobby since you gave up riding?
Do you know what? I still like riding. I ride at home and stuff like that. I play a bit of golf. I love sport, but there's nothing like racing. You know, I love racing. It is my hobby. It's my life, kind of, isn't it?
Your job was racing, your hobby's racing, your hobby's riding, your job was riding. All in one.
Yeah.
Love it. What's your favourite item of clothing?
I was always told once to have 2 things in life you should have: a good bed and good shoes, because if you're not in one, you're in the other. So I think good shoes is probably the one, I'd say.
If you could ride one horse today, who would it be?
I like Willie's horse that won the Triumph in Marisborough.
Oh, JP's horse, big horse.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah. I think he's a smart horse. Factor Type 5 would be an obvious one. Gallop in the Champs won 2 Gold Cups, but trying to win a 3rd won't be easy.
When you're relaxing, are you able to just kind of sit, chill, watch TV?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, do you know what? I'm very boring. I watch every sport. Whatever sport is on the night time, I will watch whatever sport it is. So I will.
And what about like binge watching a box set? What was the last series you watched?
I'm watching a really silly thing at the moment called Brassic, which is like stupidly funny.
Go on, tell me.
But
I haven't seen it.
It's one of the characters is quite easy to watch. Michelle Keegan's in it.
Okay.
But there's a lad called.
I'm familiar with Michelle Keegan's
There's a
work.
lad called Vinny that's absolutely class. Love Peaky Blinders. Love things.
Okay,
like,
I'm getting the pattern.
Love things like Narcos.
If you hadn't been a jockey or worked in racing, what would you have done?
Do you know, I only ever wanted to be a jockey, but as a kid growing up in north of Ireland, you know, you follow sports, whether it be Barry McGuigan or Alex Higgins or Dennis Taylor. We had George Best, a bit too young, but Pat Jennings was the Arsenal goalkeeper. I remember queuing up outside a sports shop to get him to sign a football for me after the 1982 World Cup. So something in sport would be great, but realistically, a lot of my friends would say digging roads in Ireland, probably.
I was just thinking, Northern Ireland's really punched above its weight for sports people, hasn't it? Like elite sports people.
Yeah, like, you know, obviously the likes of Rory McIlroy as well, for such a small place. Yeah, we've quite good sports people.
What's your go-to takeaway order? You can't eat takeaway. Look at you.
KFC.
Oh my God, you were quick there. That was dangerous.
KFC.
Big bargain bucket.
Oh, I love that. If I was having
down to the bones.
Junk food, KFC. Yeah.
What is it? We're approaching the winners' enclosure now.
Yeah.
Can you try and sum up the feeling of riding a winner at Cheltenham?
Do you know what? They're all different in terms of they have different meanings. Like, I think, you know, the first one was Kibreet. He won a Grand Annual. It was a 3-day meeting.
Yeah, that's the festival, isn't it? Yeah.
At the festival, yeah. That was the first ever winner that I rode at the Cheltenham Festival, and that, you know, and it was the last race of the meeting. Like, so there was hardly anyone here. It was the second last race of the meeting. But then you win a Cheltenham Gold Cup. You know, I won a Cheltenham Gold Cup on Mr. Mulligan in 1987. I thought I'd won the champion hurl 2 days earlier and make a stand. I thought, this is easy. I was 23.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? 3-day meeting, win the 2 big races. That happened every
year. But was
year.
Kibreet the first time when you kind of felt it in here?
Yeah,
when you gave
Kibreet
it
was the yeah. Because when you're a kid, all you want to do is ever ride a winner at Cheltenham. Imagine riding a winner at the Cheltenham Festival. It's unheard of.
Do you get starstruck?
I don't know if I get starstruck, but I admire successful people.
Can you remember the first time you were, or by whom?
I remember meeting Zinedine Zidane at Real Madrid with Steve McManaman in about 1999, 2000, and I often think of all the sports people that I've been lucky enough to meet. you know, whether it be Alex Ferguson or Tiger Woods, whoever it is, whoever it is. But I remember meeting Zinedine Zidane and thinking, and I often think this about elite sports people, there's obviously a switch inside them all. And all I can remember is the piercing eyes in Zinedine Zidane. You think, you can see why he headbutted Marco Materazzi in the World Cup. You know what I mean? Looking at him, there's a mad head in him. So probably, yeah, I got a little, believe it or not, one of the times I was probably most ever starstruck was here in 1996.
Okay, you were riding?
At the Cheltenham Festival. Richard and Woody and I were doing something for Guinness, and it was before racing, and we were in our racing gear. Really busy, I had a coat on over my racing gear, so we were walking up the thing quite quickly, about an hour before the first race, and an arm stopped me. I thought, who stopped me? And I looked around, and it was Liam Brady. Never met Liam Brady in my life. Had pictures up of Liam Brady in my house.
I mean, great
And
legend.
he introduced himself. He goes, "Hey, I'm Liam Brady," and I was like,
"Yeah,
I know. I have pictures up on my wall at home, and now I play golf with Liam Brady, and we're really friendly. He loves horse racing." But I'd never ever met Liam Brady in my life.
So that leads us on
until that day in Cheltenham.
Favourite Arsenal player?
Most definitely Liam Brady.
Yeah. All right, okay. Take me to the weighing room.
Okay, we're going to
Here we go. Crowd cheering, music blaring. You've got favourite band, favourite music?
Favourite band? Oh, the Killers. I like Mr. Brightside is my favourite.
You sing it, don't you?
Graham Lee and I have been listening to a Jerry Cinnamon, Scottish lad, really good. He's got a song called Disco Land and one called Canter, funny enough.
All right, that's good. Have you got tickets to the Oasis concert?
I am supposed to be going to Oasis. I'm not a huge fan, but I like it.
Do you pay for them?
Well, probably I'd say, yeah. I think so. I think I did, yeah.
Favourite Oasis song?
Don't Look Back in Anger.
Oh.
How does that go?
I heard you say. So are you the top dog in here?
Definitely not. I suppose when I came in here first, Nick, 94 would have been my first time in here, 29th September. Richard and Woody, I suppose, was top dog. He was the champion jockey at the time, and then you had people like Norman Williamson, Adrian Maguire, Graham Bradley, Graham McCourt, Mick Fitz.
What's the strangest or funniest thing you've ever seen in here?
I don't know if I've seen anything really that funny. And Matty Batshaw, she was here for quite a lot. Was quite a funny lad, always kept things going. But Dickie Johnson and I, we sat beside each other for 20 years and never ever had a crossword.
Who would you rather be stuck on a desert island with, Ruby Walsh or Barry Geraghty?
Can I have another choice? Is there? Can you have,
okay, who's the least worst to be stuck on a desert island with?
I don't know. They're both great lads, both brilliant jockeys. I'm not really sure. I remember Ruby sent to me one day, he said, "I'm getting more and more like my dad every day." And I went, "No way." I said, "Ted's much more pleasant than you ever were." So I'd much rather have Ted than Ruby.
A lot of ink on the walls here.
A lot of ink on the walls, you're right.
You got any tattoos?
Definitely not. Lots of scars. No tattoos.
Well, you walked out here so many times. If you could have swapped your career with any other jockey, who would it be?
Do you know when you're a kid growing up, Nick,
yeah.
Lester Piggott. It's just, Lester Piggott was like a god. You know, I to the last day I ever met Lester Piggott, I used to ask him for a photograph, you know, and I had loads of photographs with him, but it was just from the first day I met him, I just thought it was the right thing to do. I'm chatting to Lester Piggott, so
yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Well, I've been given a lot of advice. Did I listen to most of it? Not so sure. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
Okay, some quick fire ones. What's your favourite film?
Braveheart.
And who would play you in a film, not Mel Gibson, please?
Someone like Matt Damon.
Okay, would you rather win in a Grade 1 at Cheltenham or the Grand National?
Grade 1 at Cheltenham, the Grand National,
yeah.
But I'd rather win the Gold Cup than the Grand National. But
I get it.
But
I get
the Grand
it.
National.
I get it. Who's the greatest athlete of all time? Good question.
Greatest athlete of all time.
Apart from me, obviously.
I have no idea. I mean, everyone's got a different opinion. I Tiger Woods is unbelievable. Then people, Jack Nicklaus won more majors.
Golfer? A golfer, really?
No,
Greatest athlete of all time?
Who is the greatest athlete of all time? I'm not really sure.
Roger Federer, Usain Bolt.
But then you have Novak Djokovic, Usain Bolt, fastest man in the world. Does anyone want to be the fastest man in the world? Maybe Usain Bolt. Do you think, is it Muhammad Ali? Is it, you know,
Michael Johnson? Maybe not.
I'd probably go for someone like Muhammad Ali. I think boxing is a brilliant sport. Love boxing.
You don't have a dark side. You haven't been in the Guinness tent here, have you?
No, I haven't been in the Guinness 10. I've been in a few times to...
Brown envelope?
Yeah, that was getting paid to go in. That was pretty much it, my only times.
Well, what's it like having a statue here?
Oh, I'm not sure if it's a good or bad thing, Nick. Most people who have statues are dead, aren't they? But it is pretty cool and something obviously I'm very proud of. To have a statue at the Cheltenham Racecourse is just, you know, I'm very lucky.
Because you're 20-time champion jockey, will that record ever be beaten?
Oh yeah, records always get beaten, Nick. Always get beaten.
20 jockeys championships.
They always get beaten. I remember about a few years ago, whenever it was, well, it was a long time ago now, actually 10 years ago probably, when Wayne Rooney broke Bobby Charlton's record at Manchester United, and he was sat in the stands and said how happy he was, and I just thought, I hope I'm dead whenever if it ever happens to me. So.
All right. Well, one ride you could have again, one race outcome you could change. What would it be?
Only one?
Yeah.
I often thought that Binocular in the champion hurdle at Punjabi beat him and didn't have a great preparation going into it, and I kind of felt like he had a little blow coming down the hill, and I kind of maybe should have, I think I sat on him a little bit too long, and I just wish I'd have sent him, and if he got tired, he got tired, you know.
Is retirement more or less enjoyable than you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, it's okay. I don't have any regrets at all. I'm not saying I'd speak for other sports people, but I look at other sports people I think that had huge talents and I thought they could have done better. I often wonder, I often ask myself, I often think, did I overachieve or underachieve? I'm not really sure.
How often did you think about coming out of retirement after you'd retired?
I thought about it one day. When I was retiring, there was a horse, Manila Rocco, John Joe, that I really liked, and I think Barry got injured just before the Cheltenham Gold Cup, and I went up to John Joe's at school one morning, about 2 or 3 weeks before the Gold Cup, and I rode him, and I thought, oh my God, I'd love to ride this. And I said to John Joe, because I said, I'd love to ride this horse in the Gold Cup. And he went, why don't you? And I went, really? And I went home that night, actually, I think it's the Chanel when I got back. I said, oh, John Joe asked me about riding Manila Rock in the Gold Cup, and she just said to me, wise up. That was it was over.
So which of all those Cheltenham wins means the most to you?
Definitely synchronised, Nick. When he won the Cheltenham Gold Cup, it was the one day I left the race meeting and thought, you know what, that's what I was employed to do. And there was so much history with him. His mum, Mayasta, was the first horse that I ever won on for JP McManus at the Punchestown Festival in 1996. I often say to him, he has bought an awful lot of horses trying to win the Cheltenham Gold Cup, and his wife Noreen bred synchronised. So synchronised was definitely the most special.
I think I know the answer to this. What's the overwhelming emotion when you rode a winner? Was it joy or relief?
I'd say it's probably joy.
Really? I got it wrong. Got it wrong.
Because relief, pressure is such a privilege when you come to the big meetings. You know, you come to some of the meetings here and you've got really good rides. You know, 98 had 5 winners, and even 2006 when I won on Blackjack, Catchum and Brave Inca and Reveille, horses that I thought were really going to win. And then there's other years that came here. There was a year that came here I didn't have a winner. There was years that came here and had 1 winner. But the expectation that you have is that you think you're going to have, but it's hard to win here. And when you have those really good horses, like 1998 for instance, I got beat in Allegation, got beat a short head. Jamie Evans came from no man's
I remember
land.
that, a big strand, yeah.
13th round the bend and beat me in a big handicap, beat me a short head, beat Dickie and I. But because I had Blowing Wind to come, and I had Cypher Malta to come, and I did Dun Bleu to come, you know, you kind of forget about it. But when you have that one good ride, and it's, you know, look, it goes in cycles a little bit, I suppose, from back as far as Vincent O'Brien to Michael Dickinson to obviously Martin Pipe, and then to Paul Nicholls. You know, he had that number of horses, and now it's Willie Mullins. You think to yourself, the biggest problem if you're riding for them is picking the right one, isn't it? You know, so that's such a relief, and it makes it a little bit easier. If you get beaten one, you've got a better one coming in the next race.
I understand. Yeah, 196 winners you rode at Cheltenham. In total. Where do you keep all the trophies?
I have the most
of them.
I do keep them, yeah. I have, well, obviously the more important ones I have. They're at home. I have my champion hurdles and my Gold Cups and champion chase and things like that. So yeah, it's nice to have trophies.
All right, pretty amazing career. What would you change about it?
What would I change about it? I wouldn't have ridden nearly 14,000 losers if I could help it. I'd have tried to win a little bit more. I don't know if there was much that I'd change about it, really. I was very lucky, Nick, from the day I started riding to the day I retired. I worked with and for unbelievably good and successful people, from Billy Rock to Jim Bulger, to Toby Balding, Martin Pipe, John Joe, JP, and I rode for all the best trainers. I was, you know, so lucky.
That's got to be the best view in racing, right? Is that the best view in racing?
This is the best view in racing, Nick, as long as you're not behind someone going up this hill.
Yeah, I can understand that. Listen, you were always going to be a professional sportsman, do something serious. You were never going to be a reality TV star or something like that, were you? I mean, if you had to appear on one of those, you must have been asked by a few people. What would it be?
The jungle pays the most.
All right.
So
fair enough. Jungle it is.
Yeah, not for me, I don't think.
All right. What's your most prized possession?
My most prized possession is my Champion Jockey's trophy. I was very lucky that it was given to me when I retired. It sits in my kitchen
Well, so you have to
table.
keep giving it back for them to give it back to you?
Yeah, you know, you only get it for the year. It sits on my kitchen table. I had it for 20 years. It was like, that's what it was all about, you know what I mean? I felt that I felt in Sandown when you pick up the Champion Jockey's trophy, it's gone. It's over, like, the season's gone. It's not yours any longer, even though you've got it. You know, I only ever thought the only time I ever got comfort from being Champion Jockey was the 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, 6 weeks when it was numerically impossible for someone to beat me. That's when I really felt like I was Champion Jockey. Literally when I went home from Sandown on a Saturday night and I had the trophy, I may as well have put it in the bin. Wouldn't mind anymore. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that I've got that at home, that is my most prized possession, because that is what I only ever wanted in my life.
And of course now you can spend all your time doing the things that you love, like playing golf. Who's the best golfer
Eating.
you've ever played with? Eating, yeah.
Best golfer I played with, Tiger Woods, probably.
What was playing with Tiger like?
You know, one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. I mean, how many people get to play golf with Tiger Woods?
Did you raise your game?
I'd like to think so, but I often think that's the good thing about being a jockey compared to a golfer, is that you can blame the horse, can't you?
Were you shaking when you teed off?
There was a lot of people, and there was a lot of people watching us, and yeah, look, he is, as I said, one of the most recognisable and probably one of the most famous sports people there's ever been.
So you love that. That's a form of relaxation. But where do you go to really wind down?
I like going to football. I like going to sporting events. I've been very lucky, you know, that I've gone to pretty much every sporting event that I've ever wanted to go to. So, but I like watching sport.
Okay, can you imagine life without sport?
Not really. No. It's you know, it does take over my life a little bit.
Talking about pressure, what was it like to line up here in a championship race, like on an odds-on favourite, like something that was an absolute certainty?
You know, I rode a few short price favourites. I got beaten Barracuda in a stairs hurdle by English Drever.
No disgrace there.
Which was disappointing. I really fancied Brave Inca when he won his champion hurdle. Thought he was a good thing. James Fanshaw done a really good job training Ravaille to win the first novice handicap chase.
That's right.
Here I felt like there was a little bit of pressure on him because
That'd have been properly lined up.
It was my first sort of. I'd only been riding for JP for a couple of years, and then when I'll never forget, I'd won it on single boxer in 1998 in the Pertemps. I walked out after having had 4 winners. I walked down the chute and Martin Pipe said to me, riding Blowing Wind, he goes, you know, this is the only horse that I really want to win here. And there was 28 runners in the county hurdle. He dropped in. I think there was 4 or 5 of his upsides at the last, and I think he won 3 parts of a length, and I don't think I hit him.
Why did he want it to win so much?
He wanted to win everything. It was the last race, but because he had planned it so well.
It was the double as well, wasn't it?
He won the Imperial Cup on the Saturday. He told me on Saturday whatever it was to do was to give him as easy a race as possible because he wanted him to win on Thursday.
All right.
And he had 11 stone 10. He had top weight, and I tell you, it was an unbelievable training performance. Like, he won the county hurdle with 28 runners with top weight, and I took it up halfway up the run on him, and I don't think I hit him.
Can you imagine riding without a whip?
This is a really strange thing to say. I think the better jockeys, it would be an advantage to them, but I think it's a need, and I think in fairness to the powers that be, I think where the whip rule is now, I think it's in the right place. I do think there is a place for it, and I do think that it only ever talks about if someone breaks the rules, and if you break the rules, we know what's happened recently. So
it's funny how you change your mindset once you've quit, isn't it?
Yeah, but I didn't. Sport is all about getting to the edge. It's about using it to getting to the edge of the point of. Okay. You know, so I think racing would look terrible if it didn't have a whip. Like, I think you need to have, call it the pro cue, whatever you want to call it. But like, I'd happily put up my hand and let you stop me with it. It's not anywhere near as severe as what people think it is. But I think there is a place for it. I think where it is at the moment is perfectly, I think it's in a great place now. And as long as the lads don't break the rules, then it won't ever get talked about. And when it's not ever talked about, people won't even notice it.
Talking of winning, will Mikel Arteta win the Premier League with Arsenal?
He probably could do with winning. He's had 2 or 3, 4 years, 5 years, whatever, since he won the FA Cup, building a team. He is up against one of the greatest managers and teams that there's ever been in football history, so it won't be easy, but if you don't win, you know what happens. You don't win, you get replaced.
What's the sporting achievement you're most proud of?
My most sporting achievement I'm most proud of, 100%, in the year of 2002, from January to January, I rode 307 winners, which is the most
That's a lot.
of anyone in Europe.
That's a lot of winners.
I think that, I know that Christophe Soumillon, I think, rode 304 or 5 in France. Pierre-Charles Badeau done, I think, 302. I can remember watching racing over Christmas in France, hoping to God that neither of them would beat.
You're insane.
Neither of them would beat it.
You are insane.
And breaking Sir Gordon Richards' record, which was 289 winners a season. It was there for 55 years. But riding 307 winners in a calendar year, 100% my greatest achievement.
And here we are, the hallowed finish line at Cheltenham. Just sum up that feeling of getting here in front.
It is the best feeling in racing.
And that's it. You've answered every question. No hesitation, deviation, or repetition. What a man, Sir Anthony McCoy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Off to the Guinness tent, yeah?
Oh, good.
There might be something in it for you.